Okay, House on Pleasant Street channel, YouTube. I'm going to be calling this part 3 of my home garage rehab. What I'm going to start today is I'm removing these old barn-style doors. And I'm going to attempt to install this roll-up door. This is a steel door. Well, not steel, but aluminum, corrugated aluminum. And that's got to go in here. I got to take these old doors out. I despise these doors with a passion. I got to take them out. I got to make a new opening. This door is quite wide. It's a 9-foot door, but it actually works out to be about 9.5 feet. So, I don't know how this is going to work. I really wanted the door to be centered. I wanted the door to be centered with the building. I don't know if this electrical box can be moved. It looks like it'd be kind of tight. I'm going to try to make it work the best way I can. These large full-size 2x6s that run all the way down. Same as this one here. It's been notched out a few places, notched out of the top. Those all have to come out. I need to reframe a new opening, so that's pretty much probably all I'm going to get done today. So, let's see how this goes. Okay, continuing with my garage door install. Got the old doors removed. They're going for scrap. It's been a bit of a can of worms. Of course, this building I jacked up. Got no real foundation. I chopped out the old frame that was there. Not a big deal, not a big deal. Chopped out the old frame. Figured out the size of the door and how it's going to go. I did run into a can of worms. And it was with this old electrical service. Of course, the bracket for the door was going to run right where the power comes into the box. And I wanted the door to be centered with the window and the peak. So this has been deactivated. So this is, for now, this is my electrical panel. I had to move the electrical panel. Yes, hideous job. Anyway, the old service is still here. It's dead. I had to cut off the conduit and run not the plumbing, but the electrical this way. So this can be reinstalled in this vicinity if and when I get the meter reactivated. What they would have to do, because at this point I cut the conduit, so these wires are not in conduit at this very moment. A couple of inches missing. So they would have to maybe reroute this, maybe make it come down and underneath or up to the side and into the panel. But anyway, for now, that's deactivated. All my electrical runs just from the house on an extension cord. That's how I've rigged it for now. But this is quite the process, this roll-up door. So like I said, the old frame is gone. I've built up some new framing members on each side. So lots of those 2x4s. And I finally figured out my distance. The door is 111 inches, so you have to add 7/8. I made it about 112. I got my 2 verticals up. This is what the door will slide down in. And now I've just put a string line across the top to give myself an idea of levelness, because this door has to be level. And I just eyeballed these. These are only tacked in with 2 screws, just 2 drywall screws, just to hold it in place and figure out the width. And my bubble is actually right in the middle, so I'm gonna pack it in for tonight. Tomorrow I'm gonna remeasure. If it looks good, I'm gonna drive the lag bolts in here. Then I'm gonna have to fix up the header a little bit there, because I got some 2x6s and rough cut 2x4s, and I got an assortment of lumber there. I'm going to have to address that, anchor these rails, and then install the 2 brackets. And I think if I get those 2 brackets installed, I should technically be ready to pick up the curtain. That's what they call this roll-up door, a curtain. I'll need somebody to help me. I'll be able to pick this curtain up and drop it onto the brackets. And after that, I think you adjust the spring tension and then you thread it down the slot on each side. I think that's about it. So, kind of got lucky. My bubble is, I did eyeball this. I eyeball this because I just tacked them in place. But that bubble is right dead in the middle, so that means that the heights are good. The heights are good, so the brackets can be mounted. We just might have this door up tomorrow. No guarantees. No guarantees. The guy that I got the door from, he said, yeah, give yourself 2 hours. As if you could ever install this in 2 hours. I've been at it a few hours. Of course, you know, nobody would run into removing another, you know, nobody would do this. You know, most people would just put the door off center, but I don't know, I just can't have the door. I'd rather have the electrical all ripped out and laying in the corner than have the door not centered. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if the door wasn't centered. Even though it's just a crappy old building. But there it is. The curtain is there. The opening is just about there. Maybe tomorrow this will all come together. We'll check in again at that time. Okay, so it's the next day. I got my guide rails all lag bolted in. Both sides. I got both of the top brackets that are going to hold the curtain. And they're put in and they're loose so they can move out from side to side. The curtain is pretty much ready to go. They recommend to keep it wrapped so it doesn't all unravel itself. So now I'm just going to go bother a neighbor and see if he can help me lift that up. So the plan is to take one end, stick it in this hole, then you're able to push the bracket over a little bit, and grab the other end, push it up, and stick it in there. And then the curtain should be able to hang like that. And after that, we can tighten the bolts. We're supposedly able to thread the curtain in through the rail. The guide openings have been pulled back a little bit, like recommended. These have been pulled back. Allow the curtain to go in here. So, 112 inches across, and the curtain is 111. So that's going to give me some play within. They recommend it's 7/8 of an inch. I did 1 inch. What the heck? Imperfections in that. I just don't want the door to bind up. So, this is the next step. See how much of a can of worms this is. Okay, well, it's a couple hours later. I did get my neighbor to help me throw the roll up. So we threw the roll up one side at a time, like the instruction says. Slide it in with the brackets loose. Put the cotter pin in. Shuffle along. Slide that one in with the bracket loose. Put the cotter pin in. Tighten the brackets. She's in. She's in. The neck after that, once it's in place, you got to give it 2 full winds this way. And you got to fasten the spring on this end. The bolt, the nut and bolt arrangement are already there. You just have to grab the spring, pull it. I put a little piece of string on the spring and I pulled it and I hooked it in. And I threaded it down the guides. And it's not bad, not bad. So it's in place. It goes up and down. I got nothing for a lock mechanism at this point, unless I missed something. The only other step I have, oh no, here it is here. You can lock it, but obviously it locks from the inside. That must slot, where does that slot? Maybe in here. Maybe in here, is there one? I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. So anyway, if I lock the door from the inside, I got no way to get out because I got no man door. Unless I reuse that old door over there and stick it here somewhere. But for now, I'm just glad I got this up. The old barn doors are gone. I absolutely despise the barn doors. This looks much better. Of course, I got to do some trimming around. This whole building is an ongoing process, an ongoing project. My previous videos, I jacked up the building, I leveled it off, I cut out all the rotten wood, I did some windows. This part here I'm calling part 3. This is the garage door installation, and I still got to put the handle on, but you know, it's not bad. Oh, wait a minute. The mechanism is on the outside. Zombie, I take it back. I take it back. I never even saw this before. For heaven's sakes, talk about brain damage. Well, let's bring her down. I can even do it one-handed, and it probably still needs a little bit of tweaking. It does say that they need a bit of lube. Let me shut this. Okay, so I take it all back. It does lock from the outside. Beauty. I never even saw that before. It locks from the outside into that slot. You just got to slide your padlock in there. I got to install the handle down here. Push-pull with a little rope, I think. Of course. Back to this old shed, which doesn't even have a real foundation. That's for a later time. This will get trimmed up, fixed up. Bits of wood will be trimmed back. You know, eventually I'd like to get some concrete back in here and get this leveled up. But so far, the door is in. So, yeah, I'm going to end it here. I'm not going to bore you with any more trimming and stuff. This is a roll-up garage door. It does not take 2 hours to install. It takes a little bit more. And you do need a helper if it's a big door like this. This is a 9-foot door. You are not lifting this by yourself. Don't care how strong you are. It's a two-person job. It's fiddly. You got to get one end in at a time, and you got to play with the spring, and you got to line up cotter pins and stuff. But anyway, I just did it. My first time. Thanks for watching. House on Pleasant Street channel again. We do a little bit of automotive work. We do a little bit of home renos, garage work, that kind of thing. Again, thanks for watching. End of part 3, the home garage rehab. Okay.